What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to look at an amazing new product, and I do mean amazing, and it is going to make you jealous, and I mean it is going to make you very, very, very jealous. This is awesome, ladies and gentlemen. This is frankly ridiculous. Who wants to road trip to China? Because unfortunately, that's where you're going to have to road trip if you want to be picking up this new box. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, because, well, I think it's going to be worth it. I honestly think it is going to be completely worth it. Also, as a side note, if anyone knows a link where I can buy this from China that doesn't ship internationally and isn't massively just put up, but it's just a link where you can buy from China, I am talking to a shipping company at the moment who I think I'm going to be able to recommend to you guys. So if anyone can find a link to buy this in China, if you could let me know on Twitter at the Wassy or somewhere like that, I might be able to help you get this if someone can find me somewhere to buy it. Now, shout out to LeeZ_1111 over on Twitter, who is a One Piece TCG person in China who has shared these images with us. And I think this is going to make it a little bit easier. So what have we got? Well, we've got ourselves a first anniversary set, which is being released in China. And it's pretty much themed around Nami. And I think I can confidently call this the best set that's been released so far. Like the best promotional product, the best whatever that they've released in the One Piece TCG so far. I think this is better than anything they've released in the West. And it's not to say they haven't released cool stuff in the West. But things that come with a deck box, sleeves, playmat, frame, and a bunch of amazing promos as well. We've not had anything like this before. We've had a bunch of extremely cool products, don't get me wrong. But I don't think there's anything on this scale of awesome. As a side note, if there is something that you believe has been released on this scale of awesome, let me know in the comment section. I'll happily correct myself in a future video. So starting off then, let's have a look at the accessories, and they all very clearly show a theme. We've got ourselves a red, very Chinese looking theme. Shouldn't surprise you, it's a Chinese anniversary box. And to be clear, it is a Chinese anniversary box. This is not a Japanese anniversary box. This is not a European anniversary box. This is a Chinese anniversary box. And you'll notice it is all very much in red. And according to my very simple internet research, it seems that red is used in China for celebrations and prosperity. So it would make perfect sense under those circumstances that we would see a red theme to this, and we absolutely do, which is exactly what we should be expecting. Now, all the accessories are themed exactly the same. It's Nami kicking in what seems to be a traditional Chinese dress. As always, correct me if I'm mistaken here. And we've got a storage box for cards. We've got a playmat. We've got sleeves. There are 70 sleeves. You can see the 70 on the screen there, which means you've got a bunch of spare, which is awesome. You've got a deck box and an official card frame. And remember, they've been doing these card frames for a little while. I don't believe they've been released in the West. I believe they've only been in Japan and Asian territories. As always, please correct me if I'm mistaken about this, they've been doing these in Japan for a while for Pokemon. And they've not actually brought them over here, which was fine. I didn't expect them brought over here. But then they've started doing them, and it seems to be the same company, because they look exactly the same, has started doing them. They've released a bunch of them over in Japan. Well, now we've got this one, and all of this stuff is exclusive. And not only is it exclusive now, that's like your minimum standard, I don't expect any of this to be released anywhere else. If you look at the design of this, it is very obviously a first anniversary Chinese celebration. And I'm not saying it won't be released anywhere else, it could be, but I would be very, very, very surprised, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very surprised indeed. So, yeah, expect this to remain exclusive. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Expect it to remain exclusive. Now, the promos I am less sure about. They may stay exclusive, they may be released elsewhere. It is worth noting that we have seen one Chinese, and I believe it's just the one, but we've seen one Chinese exclusive, which was a New Year's promo, and that, again, to the best of my knowledge, stop me if I'm mistaken here, hasn't been released anywhere else. This was the New Year's Luffy, which was released as a one-card thing to celebrate New Year in China, and I don't believe this has seen a release anywhere else. I don't believe this card got released in Japan or in the West or anywhere else, although again, it was very much a Chinese New Year promotion. So it does make sense that they wouldn't release it elsewhere, because it was specifically released for Chinese New Year. Now, you could go the other way, because there were some products that were released in Japan to celebrate the 25th anniversary of One Piece, which I did not think were going to end up being released over here, and then they ended up getting put on Premium Bandai. And I thought they may well end up remaining event exclusive in Japan, because they were released for a specific event over in Japan. The point I'm making here is, yes, they could be exclusive, yes, they could be brought over here, but if you ask me to guess one way or the other, my guess would be they're not coming. I don't think we're getting these promos. I would love to be wrong. I don't think we're getting them. Like, obviously, we've got, and this shouldn't really surprise you at this point, Nami doing the kick in the Chinese dress. Obviously, it would be so weird if they did all the accessories of the same image and then didn't use that for a promo card. That would be bizarre, ladies and gentlemen. That would be absolutely bizarre. But we are getting that Nami, and that's kind of awesome. Now, in terms of cards, they're doing what they always do, and I love this. They're reprints. This is just OP01 Nami. This is a reprint of OP01 Nami. And yes, obviously we've already had the lovely alternate art in the set as well. It's a really good one that lets you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a Straw Hat crew other than Nami and pop it in your hand. But we're still just talking about OP01 Nami here. This is just, I would think, probably the coolest version of it. And then we've got a bunch of other cards. And again, they really seem to be leaning into the whole, these are Chinese promo things. And I adore that, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely adore that. If I'm seeing a promo set over in China, I want it to be very Chinese-centric. Because otherwise it could just be a promo for anywhere. I love it when the promos represent either the country in which they're given away, or the time of year they're released, like the New Year Luffy, or anything along those lines. I love a good theme. It's not One Piece, but I gotta mention, in the UK, we literally had Pokemon cards that were a crossover with the English FA, the On the Ball cards. There were 5 of them in total, and they were amazing. But it was literally like they were wearing England football shirts, and they were given away in England, but they were not given away in Scotland or Wales, despite them being literally connected on our little island. It was fun. So yeah, love the theming here, think it's awesome. There are some other promos we can mention nice and quickly, and it doesn't actually say where they're from, unlike the Nami, where it does actually give you the little set number. But we can look at the cards and figure it out pretty easily. The Chopper is blatantly the Chopper from Starter Deck 1, the 1-cost blocker. Very cool card, we love it indeed, but it's the only 1-cost red Chopper. It's not that hard to figure out. The Nico Robin is a 3-cost red card. And although there are a couple of them, it's not vanilla, so it has to be the one from OP01. Don X1, when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. A card that was actually very popular back in the early meta. We've got ourselves a 3-cost Rowan Zoro here, and it's 3-cost 5,000 power. There are a couple that fit that description, and it doesn't have counter, but they both fit there. But it kind of has to be the one with Rush. That is the one from OP01. Because if you look very carefully on the screen, you can see it's got the little coloured Rush symbol, whereas the other one is just Don X1, you gain 1,000 power. That's the one from the starter set, which is not what we're looking at here. So it has to be that one. We've got ourselves a 10-cost red Luffy, which means it is not hard to figure out which card we are talking about here. It's got to be, weirdly, a reprint of the one from Starter Deck 10, which is not a particularly old card. You know, all the other reprints are going right back to the beginning of the game. But look, it's clearly a 10-cost 11,000 power red Luffy with no counter and Rush, because it's got the same text there as Zoro. It's too small to read, but we can see it's the same. So it has to be the one from Starter Deck 10. There's no other option. And it's actually a really cool one that's got rush and is very, very powerful. We like it very much indeed. And then we've got ourselves a red Sanji, 2 cost, 3,000 power, which means it has to be the one from OP01. The starter deck one had 4,000 power. It has to be this one. And again, even if you can't read Chinese, and even if you can, I'm not sure how you could do it at that scale, you can still see that it's got the activate main and the once per turn bubbles. So that's one that lets you put a card from your life to your hand, give yourself 2,000 power and 2 rested Dom, essentially an extra 4,000 power, beast you up nice and quickly. So these are all cool cards. They're very nice promos. I love the Zoro and the Luffy. They look absolutely amazing. But oh yeah, there's also this one, which to be fair was on the screen at the beginning of the video. This, I believe, and again, I don't speak or read Chinese, okay? My Japanese is coming on, my Chinese is terrible. But it seems to be that this is essentially a secret version of Nami. What I believe is the case, and this does need to be confirmed, but what I believe is the case here is that essentially some of these boxes at random will have this Nami in as a secret. I don't know, this is not 100% confirmed, but I believe there is a chance at the Nami in the box. I believe it is not confirmed. Now, it's coming out for 581, which comes in at $80, which for everything you get here seems ridiculously cheap. And in terms of pounds, it's 65 British pounds. I would pay 65 British pounds for this in a heartbeat. And please, if anybody can find me a Chinese website selling this, I'm talking to a shipping company at the moment. I think I can help you all get hold of this. But like I say, I need someone to find me a link to buy it first. So hit me up on Twitter at @TheWassy if you've got a lead. So yeah, this looks amazing. And I called it at the beginning of the video. I called it like the best product we'd seen. I just don't see another one that's on this level. I'm not saying there hasn't been really cool products, but you're telling me this whole suite of Nami stuff, plus this half dozen promos, plus the chance at the secret one as well, isn't worth getting excited about? Nah, ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely ridiculous. Right, that's what you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me how excited you are. Tell me if this is the kind of thing you want to be picking up. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy. That's where we talk One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.